Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope that you people are doing well. So here I am with our new topic today, and it is one of the important topic related to mathematics. Okay, so in this video I'm going to give the detail of the important formula as well as the topics which are very important for your exam, and this will be chapter wise, so it will be a brief summary for you. Okay, if you watch this video till last, I can guarantee you that all the basics doubt will be cleared from your mind. Okay, so kindly do watch it till last and don't forget to like, comment and share the video. So let us start with our first chapter, that is AP. So first let us start with AP, that is arithmetic progression. So this is an example of arithmetic progression. Let me write. These are the terms, we call them as terms up to nth term. Okay, so how can you say that the given progression is AP if the common difference is same, that is D? How do we find this? We have two formula like A2 minus A1, or it can be also written as A3 minus A2 or A4 minus A3, or there is another formula when they have given the in between terms like this term and another like A10 is given. Okay, so then you can use AP minus AQ divided by P minus Q. Okay, for example, if this is given, so A10 and A2 divided by this 10 minus 2, like this you can find. And to find the nth term, we have the formula an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay, where a is first term, d is common difference, and n is number of terms. Then you have sum of n first n terms. For example, from first till up to n, if you have to find their sum, then we have the formula n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay, this is the formula. And Sn, when the first and last term is given, that is n by 2 into a plus an. Sometimes this an can also be written as l, so it can be a plus l. This is the formula. And one more important formula is Sn minus Sn minus 1 is equal to an. This formula you have to remember this also. Okay, so these are the basic topics related to AP as well as the important formula. Moving to our next chapter, that is linear equation. So this is linear equation. Okay, pair of linear equation in two variables. So pair means two in number. So if these are the two equations, a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equals to 0 and a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals to 0, then these two will represent what? They will represent line. Okay, a pair of lines on a graph. Now these lines, okay, either they can be intersecting, okay, they can be intersecting or parallel, or else they can be coincident. Okay, the lines can be these three, coincident. Now intersecting is denoted as like this. This can also be sometime like this, perpendicular. Parallel is this one and coincident is this line. Now to check whether the given equation represent intersecting, parallel or coincident, we have relation between their coefficients. Okay, that is for coincident, coefficient, sorry, for their coefficients. For example, for coincident line, we have a1 by a2 equals to b1 by b2 and that is equal to c1 by c2. All of them are equal. Okay, for parallel only first two are equal. a1 by a2 equals to b1 by b2 but not equals to c1 by c2. And for intersecting, neither of them are equal. a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. This you have to remember. Okay, now these lines, they represent the number of solution in a given equation. For example, intersecting line, if you see, they are touching at only one point. Okay, so we can say it has only one solution or unique solution. For parallel, these two lines are never meeting to each other, so we can say no solution. And for coincident, both of the lines are passing through each other. Okay, not passing, they are coincident, means one line is upon the other line, so we can say it has many solution. Okay, and one more thing you have to remember related to this, and that is the equation, name of the equation. See, the equation can be called as, the given linear equation can be called as consistent, okay, inconsistent, or dependent. Okay, now how are you going to say whether the given equation is consistent, inconsistent, or dependent? That can be decided based on this. If the lines are intersecting, we call it as consistent. If it is representing parallel lines, then it is inconsistent. If coincident, then it is dependent. So to remember this, we have a trick. And what is that trick? See, it is I, P, C. You can see here first letters I, P, C, and here C, I, D. They are, if you relate them, okay, we can say intersecting line is representing consistent, parallel is representing inconsistent, and coincident is representing dependent. So you can remember this code word, okay, IPC and CID. Got it? Okay, now moving to our next question. Sorry, next chapter. I hope you are liking this. So our next chapter is quadratic equation. Okay, quadratic equations. So what is a quadratic equations? Any equation which is written in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, we call it as quadratic equation, and the degree is 2. For a quadratic equation, the degree, highest degree is 2. You can see it here. Okay, so you should know the formula to find the value of roots, that is x value. It has how many roots? 2 roots. Because the degree is 2, the roots are also 2. And to find the value of x, either you can do it by factorization method, okay, or formula method. So formula method is, let me write it, it is minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. This is the formula method. Okay, this is the formula. By using this, you can find the roots of a given quadratic equation. Now another topic related to this is discriminant. Okay, discriminant is given by d is equal to this value, b square minus 4ac. Now this is used to determine what? Nature of root. Okay, nature of roots. For example, if d is equal to 0, the roots are real and equal. Okay, if d is more than 0, then the roots are real as well as distinct, means different. Distinct. Next, when d is less than 0, it has no real roots. Okay, so these are the important topics related to which one? Quadratic equation. Okay, now moving to our next chapter, that is coordinate geometry. Okay, so this is coordinate geometry. So coordinate geometry is all about points, okay, x and y axis. For example, if there are 2 points x1 y1 and here x2 y2, and we have to find the distance between them, we can find using distance formula, that is root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. And this origin, this point is called as origin, and the value of origin is, it is 0 comma 0. Okay, then you have section formula. Okay, section formula, and this is given by x comma y is equal to, section means if there is a line and there is a point in between this line and we need to find this point, then we have to use the formula. X comma y is, here it was x1 y1, here x2 y2. then this is the formula. See, m1, first you write m1 here, m2 divided by same m1 plus m2, comma, here you write same m1 plus m2 divided by m1 plus m2. Now at first you have to write x, here you have to write y. How? See, if there is m1, write x2 here, m2 x1, here m1 is there, so write y2, here m2 is there, so write y. This becomes section formula. Now when the point is in the midpoint, when it is a midpoint, then we have the formula, this one, x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, we call this as midpoint formula. Okay, and at last we have area of triangle formula. Okay, and that is half into x1 y2 minus y3 plus x2 y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2. So these three you have to remember, and area of triangle is 0. Okay, area of triangle is 0 when the 3 points are collinear. You have to remember this also. Okay, 3 points are collinear, then we can say area is 0, and based on these they are going to ask question in your exam. Okay, now moving to our next chapter, and it is trigonometry, one of my favorite and one of the difficult chapter among the students. So trigonometry. Okay, both I will cover introduction to trigonometry as well as the uh, applications of trigonometry. Okay, so first you should be aware of ratios. Okay, see, if I ratio, this trigonometry is valid only for a right angle triangle. So if I'm taking this as a right angle triangle, this is 90 degree and the side opposite to this is hypotenuse. And if I'm taking theta over here, the side opposite to theta is called as O, that is opposite, and the last side is called as adjacent, that is A. Now based on this OHA, I'm going to write all the ratios formula. Sin theta is O by H, cos theta is A by H, and tan theta is O by A. Okay, so for this there is a trick. Okay, you have to remember SOH. There was a boy, his name was Sohail. In Hindi, the trick is in Hindi. He was going somewhere. So someone asked, Sohail, kahan ja raha hai? So his answer was to America. Okay, you can remember this. Sohail kahan ja raha hai? To America. So these first three letters will represent our formula. Sin is O by H, opposites by hypotenuse side. Cos is adjacent by hypotenuse. Tan is opposite by adjacent. Okay, and you have to mark this theta properly. If theta is here only, then O is here. By chance, if theta is here, this is hypotenuse always, then opposite become this and adjacent become this. Opposite side of theta is always O. Okay, remember this. And then we have its reciprocal. The reciprocal of sine is called as what? Cosec. Okay, so its formula will also become H by O. Cos is sec, reciprocal is sec, and tan is cot. Okay, so these three, if you remember these three, the rest will be easy for you. Now after this you have what? You have the values of some specific angles. Okay, specific angle values you should know, that is 0, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. You should be aware of all these values. Okay, mainly for sine, cos and tan. Okay, this is 0, 1 by 2, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2, 1. And if you come in this way, okay, so that become for cos. Cos 0 is 1, cos 30 is root 3 by 2, cos 45 this, cos 60 is this, cos 0 is cos 90 is this. So this you have to remember. After this you have complementary angles. Okay, based on complementary you have this one, the rule, sine of 90 minus theta, it becomes cos theta. Okay, and cos of 90 minus theta becomes sin theta. Similarly, tan of 90 minus theta becomes cot of theta. I will write here vice versa. Okay, means cos of 90 minus theta is sin theta, and similarly sec of 90 minus theta is what? It is cosec theta. Okay, and after this the last part from this chapter is identities, and they are mainly trigonometric identities. Which are there? We have three: sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, 1 plus tan square theta is equal to sec square theta, and the last is 1 plus cot square theta is equal to cosec square theta. Based on this you may expect some question. Okay, moving to our next chapter, that is application to trigonometry. So applications, see, there are only two things. First, there is a person standing over here. Okay, and this is the ground. Okay, imagine this is the building and someone is looking at the top of the building from here. So when he's looking upwards, the angle formed between this horizontal and this line, we call it as angle of elevation. Okay, so here again you have to use, this is theta, this is opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Based on this rule you can find this height of building, okay, or distance from foot to the person standing. And similarly, when the building is here, the person is standing over here and he is looking downwards to a car. Imagine there is a car here, then the angle formed with this horizontal, this theta, we call it as angle of depression. Since he is looking downwards, we call it as angle of depression. Okay, and this angle is equal to this. So once again, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Using this rule you can find the height or distance between this foot and the person, okay, or the car, whatever. And mostly tan theta is always used here. Okay, so remember all the values of tan in this. Okay, so now moving to our next chapter, and that is statistics. So statistics, in this chapter we have three central tendencies. Okay, they will give the values of central tendencies of any data. Which are these central tendencies? They will measure, first is mean, then we have median, and then we have mode. So what are they? See, mean refers to the average value. Okay, median refers to the centermost value in increasing or decreasing order. That is very important, centermost or midmost value. And mode refers to frequent value, which is most repeated value or frequent value. Okay, most frequent value actually. So this you have to remember first, and after this you should be also aware of finding the model class. Okay, when they are given in the grouped form. So model class is which one? Whose frequency is high. The class whose frequency is high, we can choose that class as model class. But for median class we have different rule. For median we have to find cumulative frequency, and after finding this cumulative frequency you have to find n by 2, and this value which is near to n by 2 and greater, okay, to n by 2, that value in which one? In CF, in cumulative frequency, will give us the median class. Okay, if you solve some problems which I have done previously, you can find it easily. You can come to know how to do this. Okay, and now the most important formula, that is empirical relation between them, that is mathematical relation. Which one is that? 3 median is equal to mode plus 2 mean. Okay, mode plus 2 mean, this is the formula. And then ogive curve is given. For example, ogive curve. Okay, if there is a curve something like this, it is like this, and one more is like this. So this point on x-axis here, it is also called as abscissa. Okay, the point on x-axis will give you what? Median. Remember this. For example, here the point was 2 comma 4. So median is what? It is 2. Okay, remember this. This is y-axis, this is x. I hope you have understood this chapter also. If you are finding it useful, kindly do like the video. Okay, chalo. So moving to our next chapter, and this chapter is triangles. Okay, it is also very important and most confusing chapter among the students. Actually, it is very easy. See, similar, you have two types of figures, similar figures. So here you have same size but different shape, then we call it as similar. And if two triangles are similar, they are represented like this. This is the sign for similar. Okay, and congruent is they have same size as well as same shape. Okay, now in this chapter you have to remember the BPT. If you understood the BPT, you can solve the problems based on this. See, if any side is parallel to another side like this, in this triangle ABC, and this is D, line D is parallel to what? BC. So we can write two things. AD by DB, it will be equal to AE by EC. Okay, and second thing is AD by AB, this can also be equal to AE by AC. This is the first thing you have to remember. Okay, and when is this possible? When DE is parallel to BC. Okay, you can also write like this: AB by AD equal to AC by AE. That is also valid. So this is first thing. Second thing is area of similar triangles. Areas of similar triangles. So if there are two triangles given, okay, and they are similar, for example ABC, and this is DEF. So area of ABC, okay, divided by area of DEF is equal to the squares of their corresponding side. For example, if I'm taking BC, then here I have to take EF. So squares of this. Similarly, it can be AB by DE whole square and AC by DF whole square. Based on this also you will get question. And the last thing among this from this chapter is which one? It is Pythagoras theorem. Okay, that is also very important. What is that? It is used also in trigonometry. So this is a right angle triangle, this is hypotenuse, and if I take this as B and this as A, then Pythagoras theorem states that square of hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of other two sides. So this is Pythagoras theorem. Based on these three topics, you will be asked question in your exam. Okay, so now moving to our next chapter. Okay, so the next chapter is circles. Okay, so see, circles, as you all know, okay, this is a circle with center O. This is center O, and this is a radius R, and diameter is equal to 2 times of R. If a line which is passing through circle and touching at only one point, we call it as what? Tangent. That should be known by you. And if it is cutting 2 points, then we call it as, then the line is called as what? Secant. Okay, and if it is just touching the two ends of points, then that is called as what? Two ends of circle, that is called as chord, and the longest chord is diameter. You remember these things. And then you have to remember this theorem. Which one? From an external point only two tangents can be drawn. Okay, and these two tangents are equal. Remember, if this is P, this is A, this is B, so PA and PB are equal. This is first tangent, and second tangent is the angle. Okay, the angle between the tangent, okay, and radii is always 90 degree. Okay, this is the second rule. And one more question you can that can be asked is, if they have given this angle and if they ask you to find this angle, then for example angle O will be always equal to 180 minus whatever theta you have given here. Okay, so remember this. And this point that is where tangent and radii are meeting, we call it as what? We call it as point of contact. You have to remember this also, point of contact. Okay, I hope this chapter is also clear to you all. Now moving to construction chapter, and also you have to remember area of circle, that is pi r square, and perimeter or circumference of circle is 2 pi r. Okay, this is useful in surface areas and volume. Next is moving to our chapter constructions. So this is also very important chapter. You can expect 1 to 2 questions from this. So see, they will give either for a line construction. Okay, so whenever line construction is given, if they have given ratio 3:2, then you have to just add 3 and 2. Okay, that many points will be drawn here. Which one? Towards this side. And if any triangle is given in the form of like 2 by 3, then how many points we have to draw? 3 points, 3 equal points towards downside. And if it in the form of like 4 by 2, 4 by 3, so here the numerator is 4, and means always you have to take the greater value, so 4 points. But the joining should be always done from denominator, like from 3 you have to join the last this point, and here also from 3 you have to join the last point. Denominator joining. Okay, remember this dj, always join it from denominator. Okay, now moving to our last chapter, that is surface area and volume. Okay, if you have not liked the video yet, kindly do it. So this is surface area and volumes. Here first thing you have to remember is about the circle, area of circle, that is pi r square. Okay, and perimeter or circumference is 2 pi r. Then you have to move to cube, so it's LSA, TSA, and volume you have to remember. Okay, so for cube it is 6 sides are there, right? One face is equal to what? Square. So its area is L square. For 6 it is 6L square. For 4 it is 4L square. And volume is L cube. And for cuboid it is LB, 2 into LB plus BH in plus HL. And this is 2H into L plus B. And volume is L into B into H. Okay. And this is equal to what? Similar to a rectangle. Next is what is that? Yeah, cylinder, right? Circular cylinder. So for this you have formula 2 pi r into r plus h. First I am writing TSA for all, and here you have just 2 pi rh, and here pi r square h. Okay, next for cone, I'm just drawing roughly figures here. For cone you have pi r into r plus l. Here you have pi rl, and here you have pi r square h divided by 3. So volume of cylinder is always equal to what? It is 3 times of volume of cone. Okay, remember this. Then you have sphere. It's like football. For that you have only 4 pi r square as LSA and TSA. There is no LS actually, but if still they give surface area, you can write 4 pi r square only, and volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Then you have hemisphere, that is football when it is cut half in equal halves. Then you have 3 pi r square as TSA, 2 pi r square as LSA, and 2 by 3 pi r cube as volume. And at last you have frustum. So frustum is like this. Okay, when cone is cutted at from any one side, okay, it will look like this. So you have to remember the TSA, LSA, as well as what? Volume of this also. Okay, okay, I will write it here only. So TSA is how much? It is pi L into R1 plus R2. Okay, then you have pi r1 square, and here you have pi r2 square. If this is r1 and this is r2, this is the formula. And LSA is just pi l into r1 plus r2, and volume is same. It is similar to this pi h by 3 into r1 square plus r2 square plus r1 into r2. Okay, so this is it about the chapter surface areas and volumes. So I think I have covered all the topics which is important for your exam. If you know the basics, if you know all these things, you can easily score good marks in your exam. Okay, so with this I will end the video here. Okay, so I think you enjoyed this. Kindly do like, comment and share it with your classmates, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. We'll see you all in my next video. Till then, take care, bye, prepare well, and all the best for your exam.